Country star Keith Urban moved to the United States back in the 1990s. However, recent events might have gotten the country music star and former American Idol judge eyeing a move back to Australia. An inside source also recently shared some light on the situation. Urban was born in New Zealand but grew up in Queensland, Australia. After getting his start in the Australian country music scene, he moved to Nashville in 1992. Over the years, he has not only had a prominent career as a country music star, he also served as an American Idol judge in season 12, announcing his retirement from the role in 2017. He is also currently performing at a Las Vegas residency. Urban is also notably married to actress Nicole Kidman. While born in Hawaii to Australian parents, Kidman grew up in Sydney, Australia. The actress also has dual American and Australian citizenship. However, it's believed recent events have the two considering a return to Australia. Kidman recently endured the loss of her mother Janelle. Both her and Urban attended the funeral in Australia with their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. Both Urban and Kidman are currently busy in the States. Not only is Kidman working on a few acting projects, Urban's Las Vegas residency will finish up in February. However, there is some concern these busy schedules, tied with their recent loss, could lead to burnout. A source recently told Women's Day that Nicole and Keith have had their worst year ever. They've barely spent any time together, and she's been on her own throughout some of her most distressing times. They continued, "The big worry on everyone's minds is, how much more of this can she take? Nicole is still looking as amazing as always, but she's been through so much, and she seems to be dealing with her grief by throwing herself into work. There are times when she sleeps on a plane more than a bed. Everyone's worried about her." The source suggested that Urban would be willing to give up his shows for Kidman. As they noted, he owes everything, including his life, to Nicole. Us quitting big life shows is an easy choice. As noted by the Daily Mail, the couple owns properties in Nashville, Los Angeles, and Chelsea, New York. However, they still own properties in Australia, such as 2 Sydney penthouses they lease out. The stage lights dimmed, leaving only the soft glow of the spotlight framing Keith Urban's silhouette. For years, he had stood under lights like these, his voice harmonizing with the dreams of millions as a judge on American Idol. But tonight, the music felt heavier than usual. It was the last note of a chapter he never imagined would end so soon. Keith Urban had always been a fighter. From his rise in the Australian country music scene to becoming one of the most beloved stars in Nashville, his life was a testament to resilience. But fame, like any bright flame, casts long shadows. Behind the smiles, the backstage laughs with contestants, and his heartfelt critiques, Keith was grappling with a storm. Reports swirled about the distressing times he faced, whispers of strained relationships, relentless work pressures, and the gnawing guilt of being away from family. The world only saw his megawatt smile, but his inner circle knew that Keith's heart was worn thin, stretched between the expectations of his career and the weight of personal loss. Keith's wife, Nicole Kidman, had always been his anchor. The actress's unwavering support was a beacon in his chaotic world. Late one evening, after another grueling day on set, Keith found himself sitting across from Nicole in their cozy Nashville home. "I feel like I'm losing myself," he confessed, his voice thick with emotion. "The music, the tours, American Idol. It used to be about passion. Now it's obligation." Nicole reached across the table, her hand enveloping his. "Keith," she said softly, "you've given so much of yourself to others. Maybe it's time you take something back. Time for us to find a place where you can breathe again." The idea was planted. Not a retreat, but a renewal, a place far from the noise and chaos where he could reconnect with the music that once made his soul soar. Weeks later, the Urbans announced their decision. Keith would step back from the spotlight, leaving his American Idol judging seat to focus on his family and his personal well-being. It was a shock to fans, many of whom saw him as the heart of the show. But Keith wasn't disappearing entirely. Instead, he and Nicole had purchased a sprawling ranch in New Zealand, nestled in the rolling hills of the South Island. It was a world away from the fast-paced life they'd grown accustomed to, a sanctuary where their daughters could roam free, and Keith could return to writing music just for the joy of it. The move was bittersweet. Keith's final American Idol episode was an emotional farewell. As he hugged fellow judges Katy Perry and Lionel Richie, tears glistened in his eyes. "This isn't goodbye," he assured them. "It's just, see you later." Life on the ranch was as different as night and day. Gone were the hectic schedules and crowded airports. In their place was the steady rhythm of farm life. Keith spent his mornings with a guitar in hand, perched on the porch as the sun rose over the Emerald Hills. For the first time in years, he felt free. The simplicity of their new life brought the family closer together. Nicole swapped red carpet premieres for walks along the property's winding trails. Sunday afternoons were spent as a family, with Keith teaching their daughters how to strum a guitar and Nicole reading aloud under the shade of an old oak tree. But the transition wasn't without challenges. Keith missed his fans, the camaraderie of his American Idol family, and the electric energy of live performances. At night, he would sit under the stars, strumming his guitar and letting the melodies carry the weight of his emotions. It didn't take long for the beauty of New Zealand to inspire Keith's music. The songs he began to write were unlike anything he'd ever created. They were raw, honest, and deeply personal, a reflection of his journey through pain, healing, and rediscovery. Word spread about Keith's comeback project. Though he wasn't ready to dive back into the limelight, he released a single, Far Away Home, a hauntingly beautiful ballad about longing, love, and the power of starting over. The song resonated deeply with fans, many of whom had followed Keith's career from its early days. It became an anthem for anyone seeking solace in troubled times. Back in Hollywood, Keith's absence was felt deeply. Contestants on American Idol spoke of the profound impact he had on their journeys, and his fellow judges often referenced him during critiques. Keith would have loved that performance, Lionel Richie once remarked, a smile tugging at his lips. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, sharing how Keith's openness about his struggles had inspired them to prioritize their own well-being. Keith Urban taught me that it's okay to step back and take care of yourself. One tweet read, sometimes moving far away isn't running, it's healing. Months turned into a year, and though Keith had found peace on the ranch, the pull of music was undeniable. When he finally returned to the stage, it was on his terms. His first performance post-hiatus was a small, intimate concert in a local New Zealand town. It was just Keith, his guitar, and a handful of fans. The atmosphere was electric, not because of flashing lights or elaborate stage setups, but because of the raw, unfiltered connection between the artist and his audience. Thank you, he told the crowd, his voice breaking, for letting me find my way back to the music. Keith Urban's journey wasn't just a story of stepping away, it was a testament to the power of prioritizing what truly matters. His move to New Zealand wasn't an escape but a deliberate choice to find balance and meaning in a world that often demanded too much. As he strummed the final chord of his encore, Keith looked out at the crowd, a smile spreading across his face. The stars above mirrored the spark in his eyes, a light rekindled, shining brighter than ever before. In the end, Keith Urban didn't just move far away from distressing times. He moved closer to himself, his family, and the music that had always been his guiding star. This fictional narrative blends elements of personal struggle, renewal, and the universal search for peace and fulfillment, capturing the heart of Keith Urban's imagined journey.